We're here today with the original Jungle Mania crew, Bushdoctor. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'm Crucial.
Arms.
Julia.
DJ Gazah.
And I'm Shezza.
Lovely to have you all here today. So what we want to do is want to find out like what you all do, how you all like started this off, and like the sort of like history.
I suppose how we all started off, as we talked about earlier, we came from the reggae industry. We've all had sound systems in the days. We were break dancers, so it was the natural progression. We started doing acid house parties in about 1989, leading up to the jungle scene and going to jungle techno events. And we got that hooked on that scene, the jungle techno scene. As ravers, just going to these raves. And it wasn't really a big thing in the black community, in the Jamaican community in Nottingham. Some people used to look down at us.
A lot of people used to
thinking, what are them guys doing? That's not the thing to do. We had to go through that. People thinking they're listening to some madman music and that. But I remember being at these raves, the jungle techno raves, and then some DJs used to play a few jungle tracks, and then start playing this techno track. And we used to be on the dance floor, dancing to the jungle ones that had a Jamaican influence and had the Capleton samples and all these big reggae artist samples. So then you'd be walking off the dance floor because they start putting the techno off. So you'd be off the dance floor and using that opportunity to get yourself a drink. And then all of a sudden, one of your favourite tunes is coming up, and you're back on the dance floor, right? And it was like really frustrating because sometimes they give you one track that was jungle, and then go to jungle techno, and think, oh, no, not techno again. And then another track, and then you'll be yo-yoing in and out. And so there were a lot of events happening, and that was happening. But then there was a few promoters that broke off and started doing the pure jungle. And I remember when we were starting, we knew like a lot of the promoters that were doing the Dreamscape and Helter Skelters and Fantasias, and they did used to do a big mix-up. And what we knew them guys personally, and Pandemoniums and that. And I remember a lot of them guys saying to us at the time, right, they know what we're going to try and do. We're going to branch off and create this Jungle Mania thing. They could see what we could try to do. They could have done that, but they're saying the advice is not to do it because you're going to attract a lot of trouble. But we just like that bit. We're not too keen on the techno-ish side. We were rather just the jungle side. So it's kind of, we've seen the Jungle Fever outfit broke off.
Yeah.
Started doing just the jungle raves, and they were like, this was like ultimate.
That was the ultimate.
And then you had DJs like Rat Pack and then Top Boss that used to play the happy stuff. I know you might come back later and talk about the drugs in the music scene, but that was rife, and you used to have some of these really intelligent DJing that used to try to take you on a musical journey, and especially them days there when a lot of the pills, the love doves, and that scene was happening. You could literally see people going on this journey, and it's like the DJ took them to this Zen place. So I think we seen an opportunity at that time there, and thought, how hard could it be? And as ravers from the north of England, where a lot of the events, the people in London could get access to the jungle in its purest sense, probably a bit earlier than we'd have to travel to Coventry or Wolverhampton at that time there. And we thought, well, we want to get involved into this. So that Bushdoctor was kind of born then. And we called ourselves Bushdoctor because
we was young when we came out of Bushdoctor, tongue-in-cheek. It was a bit of tongue-in-cheek. We didn't know what Bushdoctor was going to lead to and what it is today, do you know what I mean? But we was young lads and we were just ravers. Yeah, and Bushdoctor came to cure the fever, basically. Yeah, so, you know,
the fever was London.
London was the jungle fever.
That was it.
And, you know, but
we could cure the fever.
Yeah,
it was good rivalry as well.
Yeah, it was a bit of rivalry. We created it.
Untold rivalry. It was never spoken about.
Yeah, but we didn't mean to create anything like that. You know what I mean? It was just all fun and games, to be honest.
I think we did. We did. Because let's be clear. Like, at that stage there was a lot of rivalries, the Tupac and Biggie rivalries back in the days, and then you had the Bloods and the Crips in America, right? And it's like these rivalries were making them bigger. The rivalries actually made each part bigger because of the rivalry going off. So as a smaller player coming into the scene, to be even considered the rival to Jungle Fever, the minute that they started acknowledging us, the minute that they fell into the trap. Because what we do is when modern day rivals come to us, we treat them with contempt. We're like, look, we're Bushdoctors, they will go there, we're not even going to acknowledge it. Right? We've been there. Right? But when we were coming up, what we wanted is for them to start acknowledging us and start taking our flyers out of the shops, and all the things that they were doing was kind of acknowledging that we were there and that we were having an impact. So, and that actually, their behaviour from other promoters made us.
Yeah, especially there's nothing nicer when we was doing a rave coming up and we
roadblock.
We've got 15, 20 flyers, people down there flying with Jungle Fever, Rose, Telepathy, Purex, you name it. That's when it rocked it, did it?
Yeah.
It rocked it just shook. It was like an earthquake.
I love that. So like you know how you were saying like the sort of like the inspiration was like starting off something in Nottingham. It was making like a sort of like a name for knots and like bringing it all together in knots.
More the Midlands, you know.
Yeah, the Midlands.
Everything's in London.
It was
and
London,
nothing's up here.
and it was Bushdoctor representing the whole of the Midlands.
So our events, main events were actually in Milton Keynes. Because we wanted a central location. So we could attract.
You can all make it to Milton Keynes.
And we were all about trying to bring that harmony with North and South, because there was a lot of that attitude from London as well, country bumpkins and all that kind of stuff going on. And we were trying to...
When they seen the flyers come out, they had to take us differently, seriously. Because our flyers killed them every time, didn't it? The lineup.
Not just that as well. The most important thing to us all was we're ravers. So and we want to put our best rave on.
And we want to be there. And we paid for it as well. Yeah, we're having a rave.
And we're just and like I said, we've paid for it. And basically it was just lovely. Ordering the doorman about.
And what was the sort of like, was it linked to the blues parties? Was that kind of like an inspiration for you?
Yeah, well, that's where we started off from in the first place. That's where everyone started from.
That's where our vibes.
If you've ever been to a blues party, you can, when you walk in,
it's all about
dark,
vibes.
And it's everything about it is the love of the music.
Yeah.
Every single record that you hear, whether you've heard it or not, brings you to a place that I'll never forget being there. You get what I mean? So
especially
having
with those
that,
heavy B lines.
it's just something else.
Say the beginning of the scene, a lot of the reggae scene in the Midlands didn't realise what was going on. So with all these bootlegs going on in the jungle scene, which was all reggae artists. It was all the top reggae artists. So we were Capleton and Beanie Man. There was all of them on it. Cutty Rankin,
one of the biggest.
Everyone, Frankie Paul. All of the biggest reggae artists were on these tracks, but it was underground. So when we were going to these rave events, people were thinking, "Oh, what them man I into know? It's a madman music they might listen to, right?" But they didn't realise, and it took us a long time to get through to you see our second event. We did an event at Marcus Garvey in 1994.
Oh yeah.
And we brought up General Levy. He was on the top reggae MCs. We brought Tipper Irie, who is still currently one of the top reggae MCs, even now. And we brought a guy called Peter Honinger, which was a big reggae singer. So yeah, I think people started from the black and blues community and from the black community and Jamaican community. they took up from Nottingham. They sat up and watched.
And what we
what
did
is going on here?
And what we did as Bushdoctor is we mashed the two, the blues party vibe, the soundboy vibe to jungle music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For our people,
you'd have like
so that's how we did it.
Half ravers in there. Because Garvin's a big place, so you'd have half a bit full of ravers, and the other half was like your reggae crowd coming to Garvin to dance to it as well because
of the beeline.
Because them days it was like the beeline what drew the reggae crowd to it once they realised what was going on.
That's right. Yeah.
Because next thing you was hearing Studio One mixes and all sorts in there. My man came. I can remember one guy saying to me one time, this was the first time he ever came to a jungle dance. He said to me, Junior, how come you didn't tell me I saw it? I saw it. You remember? Like,
do you know? Someone said that. You know, B said that to me about the reunion.
Man, how come you made me miss out on it?
I can't believe I've missed the jungle scene.
Yes.
Is this what you lot was up to?
Because it sounded like to the reggae man coming into it. You could relate to it as like a reggae dance kind of. Because most of the beats were reggae.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they're coming into it, thinking, well, boy, they've been doing it for 3 years. I'm going to give it a try now on the 3rd year when it's all over for them. When they're thinking, boy, I didn't know it was like this, so close to reggae.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to modify your dance even. You can dance faster. You can just dance like you're
using the blues.
It's the same tune, or you can speed it up
and that's what they loved about
and skip to the beat.
You know what I mean?
Because
that's
the beeline was bringing the melody.
That's when they realised.
That's what jungle for me
is
about, is your beeline.
Yeah.
So I've been to a lot of gigs and a lot of raves over the years, and it was like I was chasing that buzz for that beeline.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until these lot came back, as I said, it was like going in a time machine. That beeline was there. It's very hard to replicate that, but these guys, they smashed it on their first one that they did on the 16th of September.
Yeah.
Which I knew from day one and knew you'd recreate that.
That's what we've always been about that from the first one.
And anybody can book a few DJs and book a centre or book a club.
Yeah.
Right,
that's all it takes.
Right. They can even put the light in, right? No. Right, but they can't recreate what we do because we go above and beyond. From even experience with security, we're always passionate about that kind of stuff.
Aesthetic,
having a meeting with them, from the eye candy all over them, the production all over the place. We were just going above and beyond, and there's some bits that I can't tell you in this podcast. But when I say we would go above and beyond, our people that walking in used to get treats or free drinks and all kind of treats 30 years ago. Just to start the night, and we'll never be able to recreate them vibes. Yeah, and people now look back and think, what is it about Bushdoctor? They'll never be able to put the finger on it. But we're still the same guys, and we're trusted. The people that know us trust us and know that we'll try and go above and beyond.
Yeah,
most people now know that without being big-headed. Boy, any Bushdoctor night is going to be a good night.
Yeah, now they know that.
You're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? From DJs, line-up, lighting, production, sound quality, everything. It's just we're just different from the rest of us. I remember we've always been like that.
Seeing
and that's why people are jealous as well.
In the club, and you said to me, we're thinking about bringing Bushdoctor back. My face lit up. I was telling everybody, and I remember when you released your ticket, it must have been 30 seconds, I bought my ticket. Because I knew what Bushdoctor was about 30 years ago, and I knew they'd recreate it
a lot of the people now who's raving, they're all young kids, kind of. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of them's never even experienced or even been to a Bushdoctor. Their mum and dad has. Do you know what I mean? Back then. So they've never experienced, they've probably heard their people them talk about Bushdoctor until they've came to it for the first time, and then they realise, boy, because a lot of them as well are into the drum and bass. They've never because the younger ones nowadays, they don't really know the jungle because what they've been brought into is drum and bass. Do you know what I mean? So that's where they go to, drum and basses. But when they come to a Bushdoctor, they can see the difference between jungle and drum and bass.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
that's where people get up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was going to say, like, obviously, in 30 years, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
And we can all know that a lot. Like, a lot has changed in just everyday life and also with people, the way that we perceive music and the way that we sort of go to events. How have you managed to sort of, like, be able to keep that sort of, like, the way that you've kept it special 30 years ago and keep it to now? And like, how is it quite similar in a way?
And we can still pull it off like now, you mean, after 30 years?
Yeah.
Because we're all decent people.
We're all
individual, but like, he's got his people, and we've all got our own crowd, and we're all nice. We know everybody.
We brought people out that haven't been out for 30 years. That literally got raving after Bushdoctor finished, and they've been literally not gone anywhere. And we've come back, and they've come back with us.
How have you brought them back then after 30 years?
Well, I think everybody needed a night off. Do you know what I mean? And that's what. And do you know what? They came and they had a night off.
Yeah.
And everyone loved, and that was it. And there was just
but
like
nobody's been able to bring that back in all of those years. That's my point.
Totally.
Nobody's been able to do that.
And even the younger ones now, who did come to our first one, from going to like the drum and basses now, I think they're even up now on it.
What's not? And I think another thing.
It's kind of opened their eyes and thinking,
wow, what's this?
Drum and bass, it's like...
It's come back, jungle's become new again.
And I think...
Even though it's the older one, it's a bigger brother to drum and bass.
And also as well, I think that a lot of people did come back to come and have a rave with as well, because these are all the people we used to rave with, because we used to put coaches on from Nottingham and go to these places as well for Jungle Fever and various other places. You know, we'd sell tickets for them as well. Dreamscape. And we'd gather 100 people from Nottingham. You know, we got a coach running down there, and everyone would be on the coach. We'd all be raving together anyway. Do you know what I mean? So we kind of knew each other off the scene, even if we didn't know each other personally.
And plus, we had the record shop as well.
Mr. Music Man, which
that was our headquarters. That was the headquarters.
Yeah.
What we had. So that kind of helped us as well.
That was a massive part.
Where was your record shop?
On Alfreton Road. Mr. Music Man. We was a jungle specialist shop. We're not the only one in Nottingham.
Right in the heart of Radford.
Yeah.
That's what I
So and that kind of helped us as well, because that's where Bushdoctor that was the headquarters.
Base.
I really like that.
And we did have the Pulse magazine, the Pulse magazine, which turned into Big Daddy, we had a booking agency, Kebra, so we were trying to big up young talent from then. We had a go at that.
Local talent as well.
We had offshoot organisations, Jungle Dawn and Jungle Loves, and we had all these different hybrids of jungle that we didn't want to use the Bushdoctor brand. So behind the scene, there was all these different things. We were basically competing with ourselves. And it looked like the old scene was, there's another event going on. Oh, that's not a Bushdoctor. But actually it was, because it was, we just kind of had a different formula. One headline DJ, three mid-range ones and loads of local ones, and then we have a different formula for another one. We have 2 headline DJs and two mid-range ones and loads of local ones, and then Bushdoctor out and out, like loads of headline DJs and just a few local ones. So, and we had all them different formulas for the different brands. So there was a lot of going off. Well, say we always were passionate about keeping the whole scene alive. It wasn't just about our event.
In all of it, so you know how you've had so many different things going off. So you had like the HQ, you had all your different little promotion kind of things. What do you think was the most important quality to it all, if you know what I mean? So it was, would you think, putting on the up-and-coming DJs, or was it having the headquarters? What do you think was the most important thing to it all?
I think the most important, for me personally, was the night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, really, yeah.
Down to everything, production, staging, lighting, system, all that to me would probably...
For me, it was crowd pleasing. Yeah. You know, to be able to please the crowd.
With Bushdoctor, there's obviously been so many years that you've been doing it. Why was there a stop for over a decade? And what was to do with all that then?
Yeah, so from about 94 to, for a couple of years, from 94 to 96, Bushdoctor and its subsidiary organisations, all the different name brands that we had. They've done a really good job, but we'd invested hundreds of thousands of pounds to make that happen. We had the brand that people knew that it was a good time. It was a big experience. We've been trying for years to try and get the black community involved in the jungle. I said earlier that we had a bit of a reputation of people saying they're listening to this madman music and that kind of stuff. So we had to break that stigma. Bear in mind, in the communities of Nottingham, at that time there, within the black communities, there was a lot of tension between the different postcodes. A lot of fighting and shooting that were going off. And actually in the different black communities in Birmingham and Manchester and even in London, the same kind of thing was going off amongst the black community. So half of the time we wanted to try and get the black community into our, we knew that the potential market of people that would love this music, if they heard what we were hearing and hearing all this Capleton stuff that was going on, we knew that they would love it as well. But actually, after a couple of years...
Because the rave scene was a sanctuary, wasn't it? It was a place where anyone could just go and enjoy, no problems, no trouble. So we kind of brought that to the community. It was a feel-good place. So and it lasted for a while.
And by bringing it away from people's territories and having this neutral venue, it's like the hotel in John Wick, the Continental. Sanctuary was nobody's territory. And it was like a place where nothing...
Everyone's equal.
Got the beef and that kind of stuff. And you could even get people from Nottingham that were from different crews, from Meadows and from St Anne's and from Radford, who normally in Nottingham were clashing at the Marcus Garvey's or the Acne centres where they'd be going. There'd be stuff happening. It seemed like when we took them out to Sanctuary, nobody was on their turf. It seemed like it was like everyone was on best behaviour. Everyone was out of their comfort zone. And so they'd kind of just drop the beef and be in a rave with your enemy that week. And then next week they'd carry on killing each other back in Nottingham. So that was the environment. So we tried hard to reach the Jamaican black crowd for years and years. And once we cracked it, we didn't factor in the fact that actually we're going to be bringing that crowd and the baggage, which was all this tension that were happening in the community anyway. So eventually when we did crack the crowd and say bringing all them artists to Marcus Garvey and having them big successful events, we decided after about the 5th big Bushdoctor that we couldn't afford, because we were hearing stuff that was going off. We did an event in Wolverhampton at Amazon. We did a Jungle Love, which is one of our subsidiary brands, and that was one of the most packed ones.
Is that the one that you couldn't get in?
I couldn't even get in. I couldn't even get into it because it was that many people there. They just locked the doors. They weren't ready for. We wasn't ready, and they told us we've had Jungle Fever here. We've had Rose. We've had everybody. If we can angle them big Londoners, we can angle you. We said, trust me. You don't understand. They didn't trust us. And basically, that event, we couldn't even get in.
That was the last
hundreds of people after.
That club had.
No, it was the week after.
The week after.
The week after that event, there was a big shooting. Some Manchester guys ended up shooting the place up. And that so that was a backdrop. And we thought, you know what? These guys they're loving the scene. We've done our part. We've got everybody into it. But we thought, we're not having no one come in. It's going to take one of these shootings and that reputation that you've built up of all this.
You've got police knocking your door now.
It's all the tension to it.
It's your dance, isn't it? If someone gets shot in your dance, the police are coming to you, not the shooter first. Who's put the dance on?
I can't imagine actually the feeling of going through that at the time as well. Like,
it takes
very
years to build a
responsible
reputation.
for it,
I think it was a good time to.
It only takes for one person to get food poisoned, and then that you could have built a reputation for 20 years having a classy restaurant and one bit of salmonella, and that reputation gone overnight. So that's what we didn't want to happen. So we thought, let's just pull out and wait to see how things progress. And I guess
how the way that you obviously started these events, it was based on love. It was based on the love for music, and so obviously be faced with them kind of like those sort of events that were happening with people. Yeah, you can't take that risk, and it's not what you were about really at the end of the day.
So we pulled out before. While we had
wise decision.
Whilst we were on top, while we were top of the Premier League in terms of promoters, right? And people, the memories that people have got, right? So other guys that tried to replicate or imitate us, all that kind of stuff happened at theirs, and that we've got that creme de la creme reputation, right? For bringing people together, for people having that time of their life, from the days where you just go up to a complete stranger, hey, where are you from? You know, what's your name? Give me a hug. Yeah, that was Bushdoctor, and people hark back for that because everyone wants a bit of happiness. The hierarchy of needs. We're all after that bit of happiness, and that's what we've got, and we've retained it. So that's why we pulled out. And then in the meantime, we've all done our own, all living our own respective lives, and things just not lined up in time at the right time. So we've always thought about it. There's been talk about coming back, and actually people over the years have been saying, when are you doing another Bushdoctor? People have been asking us.
From day one, people were
but that call it started intensifying in the last couple of years, with the scene still even gathering a pace, and a lot of the drum and bass DJs getting really, really big. But bearing in mind, them guys that we used to book in the days, Fabio and Groove Riders, and the Kenny Kens and Jumping Jack Frost, they're now gods in the business. So they haven't gone anywhere. They've just become bigger and bigger. And they're kind of guys that we used to book.
A lot of them have moved with the D&B, but it's like they're being brought back to their roots now.
Yes.
Yeah, they can play all their old stuff.
I would say not all of them, but a good few of them drum and bass DJs, what are out now, like in London and everywhere else. There's all from jungle anyway.
Yeah, originally.
There's all jungle DJs. And then when the jungle died, like when we pulled out, the scene kind of died.
They moved to D&B.
They just moved to drum and bass. But now we've come back. Everything's drum and bass now, and we've come back, and we're the only ones really who's doing proper jungle.
And when we say proper jungle, right? Let me just get this straight. We mean drum and bass as well, right? So
there's a fine line.
So when we used to be bringing LTJ Bookham. Right, and then we got Brockett. So LTJ Booker had this intelligent, logical progression style of drum and bass, really. And we didn't want the scene to break off. Remember what them guys we said about the Helter Skelter guys and Dreamscape guys were saying to us at the beginning? Don't break off the jungle from the jungle techno. Well, we were in the same position as them. Well, we didn't want the drum and bass to break off. We'd seen it as one thing, and we were always about this unity, bringing things together, bringing people together, and keeping the music together. So we didn't want it to break off. Yeah. So while we've been gone, that chasm's become a bit wider.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we'd have LTJ Bookham, and then we'd have Kenny Ken, which were contrasting styles. One would what we kind of like more drum and bassish now, and one's out and out jungle.
Yeah. And I guess with like what you were saying about like you started these events with the love of music, you booked these people that's still going on now. You kind of inspired them in a way, you brought them into this to keep it going, and now you're coming back with it. Are you going to keep on the sort of genres all together in your events that you're going with?
Well, I tell you what, our crowd, the old Bushdoctor lot, they're now the social media. So, if we try not to book some of them old guys, the big DJs from the old days, they will say that's not a Bushdoctor. They're telling us you can't not do that. How comes he's not on the lineup? How come she's not? Well, like, it's our event. We can have who we want. No, you can't. We're telling you. So that's how passionate our market is. They're literally telling us what we can do and what we can't do. And
even DJs as well that have been playing every week for the last 30 years have come and played on our set, and they've gone, what just happened? Also took them back in time, and they're all speaking about it, and then other DJs are like, I need to experience this. So Bushdoctor do have something jungle. Special.
So obviously there's a newer crowd out there, and there's some new current DJs that weren't around then that are quite big. I can't drop no names yet because there's a couple of names that were going on our 30-year anniversary event that we've not mentioned yet. But we have got our eye on the younger generation as well. And we're going to make that transition. So all these other promoters out there, right, they better keep their eye on us. They better keep one eye on us, because we're coming back to take back the scene that we were so instrumental in igniting in the first place.
Yeah, that's amazing, that is. Do you want to give us a bit of information about your 30th anniversary, the date, where people can find you, what's going to be happening with it?
It's looking good at the moment. And everyone's just excited, really. Can't wait for it.
15th of June.
Saturday, 15th of June, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. We're going to do an all-day thing, but maybe we'll do that on the next time. We've got an array of bad boy DJs. So the old Bushdoctor fans, they're not going to be disappointed one bit. They're gonna say, yeah, this is what we expect. You're damn right from Bushdoctor.
Watch this space.
We've obviously got we're relaunching the album, so we've got all the guys from the album, the Ectic and Dramatic and the Origin One and T-Flex, and we've got all the crew coming down, so they'll be playing their stuff live. We've got a bunch of local DJs in our room too, mixing up the genres a bit, paying homage to drum and bass, because it is one thing. So we are gonna use some of our local, big up our local guys that are playing the drum and bass as well. We've got some surprise. We've got a ladies area, a ladies exclusive area, and we've got some surprises there. So all out 7 or 8 ladies are going to be playing in this exclusive ladies only zone. And all this is just to kind of warm up the scene, because really, in the next year we're hoping to be putting on a festival. And actually, why we came back, to go back to your previous question, wasn't to be doing these club events, because we were always bigger than just the average club. We came back to get into doing a festival.
That's really what we've come back for.
That's what we've come back to do, annual festival, a drum and bass and jungle celebration event every year.
And that's the baseline stuff.
Bigging up local talent. We thought, well, we haven't been in the scene for a bunch of years, so let's just take our time.
Yeah, it's taking your time.
Get a few events under your belt, because you're only as good as your last fight. You're only as good as your last event. So let's get a few under the belt. Let's get to learn what's going off out there, understand the scene again, and don't just treat it with arrogance.
Humble.
Be humble. Get to learn the scene. Work with people that are out there and current. And we're going to create a collective. So it's not just us. There is a lot of people that aren't even here, that aren't in this room, that should be in this room. That's right, yeah. So there is a lot more to it. And we've had a meeting before this. The collective is growing all the time. That's right. So and that's the only way we're going to be able to pull off what we're planning to do. So yeah, big things for the 30th for celebration on the 15th of June. But watch your space for future.
Watch this space.
What venue is the
Unit 13.
Unit 13.
So,
In Nottingham.
Unit 13, right, in the corner house.
It's in the back of the corner.
The old jumping jacks.
Yeah. Have you got any last words to anyone that might be watching? Anything?
Come to the event. We need you there. It's there for you. You will enjoy it.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone who is involved with Bushdoctor, Marlon, Tops, all you people in the background, Angelina, Wack,
Lorraine.
Wolfie, mate.
Wolfie, there's too much, there's too many.
DK.
Nina,
DK.
Jay, DK.
This is tremendous.
Oh, gosh.
Bushdoctor, many hands makes works lights.